And thank you. So before I start, EJ, if you can just go through the normal protocols, please.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the town's YouTube. As this is a Zoom-only meeting, if you are not participating in the discussion, please keep your microphone muted and your camera off. If you are participating in the discussion, please unmute yourself and turn on your camera. If you are making a public comment, please make sure they include your address for record-keeping purposes. I now turn it back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, EJ. Well, thanks everyone for agreeing to meet at such short notice. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss a request from the Somerset Swim Team to host the divisional meet tomorrow, Saturday, July 18th. During the public comment period, I hope that someone from the swim team committee or the swim team leadership will be in a position to speak to the reasons for the request and explain what would be involved in terms of the number of people, how long, how many vehicles, and so on and so forth. But let me first, so this is the reason for this meeting. Do I have a motion to adopt this for the agenda for this meeting?
I'll make a motion to adopt the
Do I have a
agenda.
second?
Second.
Very good. So that the agenda is adopted. So with that, I will open it up for the public comment period. Since this is the only item on the agenda, my preference is that the public comment period be restricted to this, but of course, it is your right to speak to any item. But as I said, my plea would be to focus on this only. So let me open it up. Are there any requests from the public to speak to this agenda item?
I apologize because I can't raise my hand because I can't figure it out on my phone. But this is Matt Zaft. If I would request to speak, but I'm also happy to wait my turn if I'm speaking out of order.
Please go ahead, Matt.
Okay, so I apologize for how this is appearing. I'm not very good with Zoom on my phone, but I'm Matt Zaft, Dorset Avenue. I serve a couple different roles, including chair of the pool committee. I'm on the swim team committee, and I'm one of the swim team reps. Basically, in the vein of, how awesome would it be for our 50th anniversary to celebrate by hosting divisionals? Making requests. This is not a light request. We understand how complicated and crazy this is, and trust me, we would not be coming to you if it was not, completely like necessary, and there were no other recourses. There's a 6-team division. The divisional meet was supposed to be tomorrow at Poolsville. Poolsville is a county pool. As such, the county is opening late. They are opening. They're just opening late. And Poolsville, as a result, because of their county rules, cannot host the meet because they cannot delay opening for the meet. So we are asking to go back to what we did a couple or a few years ago. I can't remember which, when we hosted, which had great success. I think many of the people on this Zoom participated, including our illustrious mayor, who coordinated traffic and parking, which, despite being long off the team, which we greatly appreciated, we would quickly recalibrate all of those plans from before. We would list volunteers from our team and the other teams. We would happily delay the start, like whether it starts at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., we're okay with any of those things. But we just request the ability to do this. And I think I'll shut up now, and though I'm here to answer any questions or.
Thank you, Matt. So just to clarify, Matt, what you're saying is that, let us say the meet was the divisionals you said could start at 9 or at 10. How long, and could you just clarify approximately how many hours, and also how many people are we talking about in the town?
So hours, I would say it's probably somewhere between 3 and 4. We would certainly do our best to speed it up as much as we possibly can. Number of people, I'd need to double check the other rosters. My bet is it's probably in the neighborhood of 100 to 150. It really, I'd want to go back and double check when we did it a few years ago, but it certainly would not be more than a few years ago when we hosted. It probably would be a little bit less than when we did it a few years ago, simply because there probably is just scrambling to even come to us. There'll probably be a lot more carpooling and a lot less of everyone descending upon us. So it definitely be not more than when we did it the last time. The other thing I did want to sort of point out, and I should have said this before, was that we did truly exhaust all the other teams within our division, and this is only coming because we are truly the last chance.
Thank you, Matt. Are there any other requests from the public before we move into council discussion? And I want to clarify that once the council starts discussing, I'm not going to reopen the floor to the public. So the public needs, if you have questions or anything, this is the time for the public comment period. I think the order I have over here is Andrew Lewis first, and then Hallie Edison. Andrew, please go ahead.
I think that this would make a tremendous swim story, and that is all I'm going to say.
Thank you. Hallie Edison, please go ahead.
Sorry, Hallie Edison, Essex Avenue. I'm all in favor of hosting the divisional. I would love for the pool to open at 8, and have the pool then be available to town people by 12, since the pool is closing again at 4, just to give people an opportunity in this heat to enjoy the pool. So I'm only suggesting that it start earlier.
Sorry, that the meet start earlier.
Yes, a standard time of a regular meet, a Saturday meet starts at 8, and make that the way we proceed. But that's just my suggestion.
Thank you. Are there any other requests from residents? Any other requests on the floor?
I have a comment. I'm a resident and a team rep for the Somerset Dolphins, Kelly Swain.
Yes.
We, of course, would like to start the meet as promptly as possible. It will be a very quick turnaround time for us, however, so we would appreciate having some time in the morning to be able to set up properly. So a 9:30 a.m. or 10 a.m. start would be our preference.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Hallie, did you want the floor again? No. Okay.
Yeah. No. Yes. I do. If that's the case, then I think they need to make a delayed in starting the divisional shutdown to allow town residents access to the pool. Since if it's 4 hours, it means that the pool may clear at 2, and then it will shut down at 4. And I don't think that's fair for a Saturday that there is no access to the pool, especially since we've not had access to the pool today.
Thank you, Hallie. Any other residents? As I said, now is really the time to speak, because I'm not going to give the floor to public comments once the council starts deliberating.
I have one more comment, Kelly Swain again. Is it possible, since I just joined the call, I don't know what was previously discussed, but is it possible to keep the pool open to the public during the banquet so that doesn't reduce any of the hours that residents have access to the pool?
Well, I guess the council can discuss that as an option.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't see any other hands up or requests from the public. Before I turn it over to the council members to deliberate, I think it is important to really have a clear presentation on what the administrative implications are of doing this. Um, and so, I'm going to ask EJ to summarize everything that was done the last time we hosted divisionals on the part of the town, what it involved. I'm sure he can also speak to what the American pool team will have to do between now and the time the meet starts. So, just to clarify, it's not just swim team volunteers who are going to have to pitch in a lot, which as they always do, but you're also making a request for a lot of additional staff time from our town staff, which was not something that has been discussed until now. And I think it's important for EJ to explain what the town staff did last time and what it involves. American Pool has many things to do as well to get this ready. So I will ask EJ also to summarize based on last year's list of things, just to ensure that the council has the full picture of what it entails to have a successful meet, in our town. So EJ, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To start, I'll go through my list sent to me by American Pools. This is what they would need and did last year or 2 years ago and would need this year. They would need to know the night of, so tonight, the exact time the teams need to arrive, warm-ups need to start, and the anticipated end time. They will need to hire extra staff, or not hire, but reschedule to have extra staff as the divisionals require extra staff. And they would need to adjust the match this year's timeline, then add time on the front end for our pre-meet setup because the pool is closed today and they normally do it the night before. American Pools will need a contract addendum before payroll is due tomorrow. They will need to purchase extra soap and toiletries, extra trash bags and cans, and sports drinks. They will have to move all the furniture, and this is on top of course, of the air quality and general weather. On the staff end, last year, we worked on, or 2 years ago, we worked on parking enforcement. Specifically at the actual divisionals was me, Justin, and our code enforcement officer, Wayne C. Fowler. We did parking enforcement. We helped out on the deck and were there from the beginning, before the beginning, past the end. That's sort of a quick summation of the work some of the work that goes into it the day of.
Okay, thank you, EJ. So let me understand this. What you're saying is that there will be additional budget implications for the town because this is over and above what we had currently budgeted for American Pool. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So and I guess we do not know really what that budget implication is at this point, but do you have an estimate of what additional staffing and time costs are?
I have not been sent one yet.
Okay.
This kind of goes back to the fact that when we did divisionals 2 years ago, we had over a month to alert the town and to work with American Pools. So we would have to get with American Pools tonight and try to come up with that number.
Okay. All right. Thanks. So let me open this up for discussion amongst the council members now. Let me just say a few things before I give the floor to you. We're talking about basically asking residents to take their cars off the street, I presume. Otherwise, I don't know where all these people are going to park.
We did ask that of them.
Yeah.
Last time.
So this is one other thing that we have to figure out, parking. I think that, the council probably needs to think about the implications for residents in the immediate vicinity of the pool who did not know that at whatever time on Saturday morning there was going to be a meet. I know it's easy for us, but we have to also respect the views of those. I don't know if there's anybody here who lives in the immediate vicinity But that's another aspect to take into account in terms of time. I also want to advise you that the pool manager and the town manager have informed me that there have been repeated complaints from our neighbors in Friendship Heights during swim meets. And so, we have to take that into account as well. This was in the past when we had divisionals, or when we've had regular meets, we try to inform them, so at least there is some communication. So there are a lot of moving parts here that need to be sorted out as you consider this. And I think it is perhaps not surprising that every other pool declined. Given all these factors. So with that, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to ask the council president to go first, and then I'll go around with the others. Debbie, please go ahead.
Thank you. I'd like this in case some of you don't know, we've been dealing with this since I woke up at 6:25 this morning with my phone buzzing about the pool closing for today. And I did go down to morning swim. I was one of 3 people, and I'm still paying for that, because it was so hard. I will tell you that American pools will let this be our decision whether we want to open. Okay, they are not going to close. They're giving all their pools the opportunity to close or open tomorrow. But we need some runway time to open this tomorrow. We need to know what the code is. If it's a code red, I don't think we, in good conscience, can open the pool early in the morning, okay? Because we're really then impacting our lifeguards, not to mention our children and our volunteers and our parents and anybody who's got any kind of breathing issue. But most importantly, it's, I think, the staff and our children. So we're going to need some time in the morning to do that. So we can't open it real early. We can try. When I get up tomorrow morning, it's at 6 o'clock. I will check the air quality to make sure we can even open it for morning swim, because there's a chance we won't be able to do that.
Sorry to interrupt you, Debbie, but my understanding from talking to Helen is morning swim would be canceled tomorrow.
Oh, I didn't know that. No one told me that.
Yeah, she told me that there's no way you can have morning swim and a meet. So she told me clearly morning swim would need to be canceled for tomorrow.
Okay, that's good to know, because I'll go and cancel it when I'm done here. But still, we still can't open this pool at 7 a.m. most likely. I mean, the air quality would have to make a big change, and you have to tell all your other teams when they can come. She is concerned about the community. I just spoke to her before this meeting. She's concerned that we've had no time to reach into the community and to let them know this was happening. We did a lot of like good and welfare last time and 2 years ago, where we really told people what was going on and we're sorry, it's going to be over by this time. And we know it's an inconvenience, but please bear with us. This is just something that's really good for the community. Okay. We've also told our residents, and right now we haven't told our residents anything. Okay. So there's that. They don't think there's a meet tomorrow. She said that she could make this happen. She could get the staff, she thinks, but she's concerned about it. If she could choose it, she wouldn't do it. Okay. She said there is so much logistics to this, and that with so many people coming and so many teams. I remember last time 2 years ago how we had it all set up with team this, team that. We had it, I think EJ and Justin can talk more about that. But she said, if we want to, we'll make it happen. She's not most, she's got a lot of, they're all pretty equal. She's concerned that this won't be over till about 2 o'clock. And I think that's probably a good guess, because she said when it's over, they got to clean up the pool before they can really open it. That there'll be a lot of cleanup, even if we got everybody to chip in and help. And I'm sure we could do that, but still there'd be a big mess with, 6 teams showing up. And so she said she doesn't think this pool will open at 2, and then we're going to close it at 4. And so she's worried about that. So I think it was Hallie's suggestion, could we open the pool for everybody else? I don't know how the swim team feels about that, because you have food coming that's just for you guys. I don't know. I think we could work out. That's one logistic we could probably work out without too many hard feelings. I did suggest to Matt earlier that you move the banquet to somebody's house, that we got a lot of big houses in this neighborhood. And why not if we're going to make this happen, why not move the banquet? And therefore, we haven't closed it to residents who are planning to come and have more than 2 hours of runway time to play tomorrow. So that's one thing. I also want to say that if we do this, I don't think we can have concessions. I think all the teams have to be told to bring their own foods, bring their own water, and we're not be in the concession business because it will just be too difficult to make it happen, and keep it cleaned up, and that sort of thing. Um, what else did she say? Parking, we'll make a call in the morning. My biggest concern here is the air quality. And why is it that all the other pools have turned this down till they wouldn't open till 10? And then they say if they open at 10, they can't extend the meet. And why is it that we're willing to do that? So, Matt tells me we can't switch this to Sunday, and yet I always thought, I know we always did, whenever we had a meet that had to be canceled due to weather, we pushed it into Sunday. And that was just a thing. So he said there's a PVC or PVS, excuse me, whatever, if I'm getting this wrong, meet tomorrow. And that he said most of our kids will be going, or half of our kids will be going. I really don't know what that is. Or Linda or Shannon or Kabir, you might know what that means. So I hate to say this. I love the Dolphins. I just don't think it's a wise thing for us to do, mostly because of health concerns. So that's where I am.
Thank you, Debbie.
You're welcome.
Robin.
Yeah, could you first of all answer Debbie's question, somebody, about what is the meet on Sunday that would prevent this being moved to Sunday?
Kabir, do you know?
She's talking about the pool Olympics on Sunday.
No. It can't be
The
moved to
pool
our
pool.
pool.
So
because we have
I
pool
think
Olympics.
I think what it is there's and I'm gonna everyone's gonna get mad at me for saying this wrong. Potomac Valley. I don't know what PBS stands for, but it's another swim league that a lot of our really good swimmers also participate in, and they're having a meet on Sunday. And so we have a
It's not
small team to begin with. And so if we were to go on Sunday and compete, we would probably have a bunch of our swimmers that would not be able to attend.
So it's
And
it's
just to
not the
add to that,
MCSL. It's not the MCSL. It's a separate league that other children are signed up and swim in.
just
That's
to
what
add
you're
to
saying.
that, all the teams in our division have swimmers who also swim with clubs throughout the year. And during the summer months, those clubs have, major meets. This is one of those major meets. So it will impact not only our team swimmers, it will impact all the swimmers of the division.
So can I
it
just
will be a very
follow up
thinned out
question?
crowd, just to answer that question.
Yeah, let me ask a follow-up question because I think Robin has touched on a very important point. If there was bad weather tomorrow, as there surely have been in some year in the past over the last 60 years, what would MCSL have done if there were thunderstorms on a Saturday morning?
You're asking me or just
I'm
the
asking
group?
I'm asking you or Shannon or Linda
I
or
can tell
Debbie,
you.
not
I can
Robin.
tell
because
you.
he asked the question.
Can I answer
No,
that, or
no,
do
as
you
I said,
need-
no, at this point,
No,
only
Matt, you
council
can't.
members.
I think they would do what they are doing in this instance, which is they are letting each of the divisions decide how they want to conduct. Remember there are multiple divisions in MCSL. We are in Division I, and they are letting each division decide how they want to host the meets. They are not making the call. If there was inclement weather, they would provide. There's inclement weather. Everyone will be seeing the weather, and we will have to make a decision how we host the team. All the same things we're discussing now would play a part. We
But
would
I mean, if
consider
there's
Sunday. We
lightning,
would consider.
but
Yeah.
if there's lightning, they're not gonna host the meet. I mean, clearly.
The pool would be pool rules apply if there's lightning, so the meets are shut down, everyone's out of the pool rules apply when there's lightning. So that we all are subjected to that. All pool activities are subjected to that.
No,
But I suspect
what I'm asking is that when a swim meet is fundamentally postponed or canceled because of weather conditions, in the past has a division rescheduled to the Sunday? But apparently not, because apparently all the best swimmers go and swim on the following Sunday morning.
In my experience, Rohit, in the decade plus that I've been involved, I have not experienced the postponement to Sunday. What I
I
have
have.
experienced, okay, so that's going back
Sorry,
20
Yeah, let's
years.
go
20
back
years.
there.
Kabir, please go ahead.
Well, I was saying that I haven't experienced it, so I can't speak to that. I can imagine that's happened. And I think when the weather happens, we waited it out. I've experienced that. So you sort of wait and then make a call. The pool makes a call. I've experienced that at meets. So, but the just so you know, even though the other divisions for variety of reasons, some of them are HOAs, some of them are subject to county rules. They all want to do the divisional tomorrow. So they are, even though they cannot host it for a variety of practical reasons on their end, they would come to our pool and swim in the divisional meet. So everyone is keen to host it. Everyone is tracking this is a very extraordinary weather situation. So everyone is tracking that. None of us have a conclusive answer on what the air quality be tomorrow morning. We just don't know. And if it is indeed code red, Debbie, obviously we cannot move forward. But if it is indeed improving and it is favorable, then having been given this approval from the council, if you decide to move forward with it, I think that option would be a good starting point for the swim team. That's my understanding. So no one
Robin,
wants to move forward if it's
let me
code
turn
red.
it back to Robin. Robin, go ahead.
All right. I'm listening to both sides here, and I understand that it matters a whole lot to the swim teams in the division that it goes forward tomorrow. The issue is that no other pool is willing to host it. And that strikes me as a consensus across those pools. And I'm wondering if we should follow that consensus is what it comes down to. It is extraordinarily stressful on the pool management team to pull this together. It is very disturbing for the residents who are close to the pool with no notice at all that this is going to happen. It is extra work for the town staff that they simply were not prepared for this weekend. And I've got to take all those things into consideration. I really do think that we should say no and leave it to the division to work out an alternative day to hold the divisionals. If it's not Sunday, find another day. Because the weather is very iffy tomorrow as well, on top of all the other things I said. So, okay.
Thank you, Robin. Kabir.
I think Shannon would like to go next. She has a hand up, if that's
Well,
okay.
no, I was just gonna say that there are definitely there's been reshuffling of the decks in terms of like these other pool leagues. And so there are pools that are also hosting it tomorrow, like River Falls and Damascus. And I think that to answer Robin's question about like why are all these pools saying no, I think it leads into more of our nimbleness and our unique situation within our pool, which is that we are a true neighborhood pool situation where we can make a decision like this easily without involving the county. And, I think that other pools have a lot of different rules, and that's why we're a unique pool in that scenario that could potentially host. So that's that. I just want to answer Robin's question as to like why the other pools aren't able to host. And I think that like one is controlled by the county. There's like I mean, I don't know exactly why each one can't, but they are all facing different rules and regulations than we have at our neighborhood pool. Secondly, before we turn it on over to someone else, the other thing I would say about the banquet and the closing of the pool is that I don't think that we need to close the pool at 4 o'clock. I mean, the banquet doesn't even start till 5:30 or 6 or whatever. And I think we can certainly push the banquet back. So I don't think that that should be a factor that we consider in terms of, if we should do it or not. I don't think the banquet closing is that.
Okay.
I'll go. Yeah, thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Debbie, and thank you, Robin. Fully acknowledging that this is going to be a heavy lift on residents that are close to the pool and will impact them. Of course, being this a last minute situation. I do still think that, again, based on our unique situation, our nimbleness, as Shannon mentioned, our ability to sort of be able to help out when we can, especially given the role that the team does play for our town and for our residents, and the fact that other swim teams have tried to rally to host before us. As Matt mentioned, we were the sort of last resort for hosting this, so we weren't the first to pony up to host it. I do support us hosting the event, again, fully acknowledging the extra budget impacts as well as the impacts on neighbors surrounding the pool. But I do, like Shannon said, I don't think that the banquet should be, this priority. I think that we can make concessions on that. I think that I don't want to impact residents having access to the pool during the day either, especially from today. So I don't want, there to be another reason to not have our residents to be able to use the pool tomorrow. So we can certainly find another location or make, some changes to how the banquet is where it's being held, how it's being held, what time it's being held, whatever. I think we can totally make concessions on that to prevent further, degradation of the residents being able to access the pool, during tomorrow's, potentially for hosting tomorrow. I also agree with you, Debbie. I'm concerned about the weather too. I obviously don't want my kids to be out in this, breathing this in. I didn't feel great today being out in it. But I've been monitoring, the weather as well. And I think based on reports, tomorrow will be much better, weather-wise, air quality-wise. But I'm also fine with, again, hosting this a little bit later, 8 a.m. Yes, I would love to host it at 8 a.m. That's a great time, our normal start time. But if it means it's not safe to host at 8 a.m., then I'm happy to wait to do it at 10 a.m. as well when the weather is a little bit better and giving us more ability to alert neighbors, get them prepared, so on and so forth. And of course, for the health and safety of all the swimmers, the families, residents, and all the American pool folks. So so that's just where I stand on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Erlinda, and thank you, everyone. Rohit, with your permission, I can go next.
Yeah, please do.
The only thing I would add, as Rohit knows well, because he was my fellow parking marshal, we hosted divisionals just a couple of years ago. So if we had hosted divisionals 10 years ago, I would be a little anxious about taking this on, but the same team actually did it 2 years ago. So I have a degree of confidence that even with the short notice, having lived through it, we might be able to logistically pull it off. We can work with the residents. I actually think we should impose a carpool rule. I don't think, and in fact, other teams are also considering that, frankly. And we have huge parking issues in our town, so I think we should impose a carpool rule. I don't think anyone should be allowed to park on the streets right by the pool. We can do all of that. I also feel confident, I think EJ can correct me, but we made some investments 2 years ago. We bought trash cans. In fact, there are so many trash cans now at the pool. That's a remnant of the divisional. So we made some equipment investments that I think we can leverage. We shouldn't be buying that stuff again to make this happen. And I think on concessions, I totally agree with Debbie. In fact, Poolsville was going to host it. They had already bought all the stuff. So we should ask them to bring it, and they should handle it all, frankly. And I actually think we can lean on all the other teams to help us out in a way that we wouldn't normally. So I agree with you, Debbie. I don't think we should deal with all the mess of the concessions ourselves, if that's what you were suggesting. But I suspect we can lean on Poolsville to do that. And then I think, Robin, I have the same question I've been asking myself, why these other teams are not saying yes. First of all, it turns out outside of our division, the meets are going forward. And I think partly because they all have a pool like ours in the division that can make a decision independent of the county. So everyone is kind of looking at the weather report, they're looking at the situation, and they're making a call. So across the divisions, meets are going forward. In our particular division, we have a disproportionate number of county pools and pools that are subjected to county rules. As you know, the county is opening pools later tomorrow. They are opening tomorrow because currently, while the advisory is out, the advisory code has shifted. So we are now moving down to code orange and moving down the alert levels. It's still high, obviously there will be lower air quality, but it is getting to a situation where even the county is getting comfortable to open pools, later in the day tomorrow. So we just happen to be in this, division I, where we have to travel really far all over the place, but there are a lot of county pools. And so that's part of the challenge that I think, facing that. Shannon made a great point that this group here can make a call, which is very hard in other situations. And then, in terms of staffing from American Pool and how to pull it off, I have just mild privilege insight, as Debbie knows, because I have a family member who is is a pool manager, and in fact, he is scheduled to be the pool manager at the pool tomorrow.
Right.
And so I have a degree of confidence that there will be they are staffed up and they are ready and they are seasoned people tomorrow from American Pool to execute this. But I don't want to diminish everything Debbie has said. It's an extraordinary situation. We would not be coming here if the other pools we had not exhausted all these other options. I mean, literally there are fires and there's smoke in the air. This is a very extraordinary situation. We wouldn't be coming here if it wasn't divisional meet. It was a regular Saturday dual meet. I don't think we would be so worked up about it or trying to make a case for it. I think the Dolphins are concerned because it is a end of season final divisional meet, and there's been all this 2 months of investment in trying to get here. So I don't want to diminish that. I think it is not a clear-cut decision, but I'm leaning in the direction of making it happen for the reasons I just enumerated.
Thank you, Kabir. So let me just ask this for those of you on the council who seem to be aware of this. What does the county know that we don't? I'm trying to understand why is the county got all these restrictions, and we are bypassing county recommendations and advisories on outdoor activities? Does somebody have an answer to that?
I do.
I don't really have an answer.
Please go
Okay,
ahead.
I just say that, Rohit, what they're doing is they've created a longer runway if they need to cancel. They're not opening until 10 o'clock because that gives them time in the morning to see if things have changed. The governor's report was that we would have code red tomorrow morning, possibly then moving to orange. But that was the report I read about an hour or two ago. But that's what they've done. They've just given themselves a longer runway. And and I think we need a runway as well if we're going to do this. We need to be able to wake up tomorrow morning and see what the alert is. And if it's red, then we need to not cancel but move it until it turns to orange. I think that's the major thing. Can we do that? Kabir, Shannon or Linda, can we do this? Can we
I'm
actually
100%
move?
with you. I'm 100% with you on that. 100%.
But can
Code
we
red
do
would be
that?
very hard to move forward. I think we can do that.
Mhm.
I think we will have to communicate to. I mean, I don't want to speak out of turn, but what comes to my mind is we would communicate to all the pools saying this is our decision if we decide to move forward as a group here with these stipulations. That we reserve the right if it's code red to cancel. We would like carpool, no parking by the pool. We would stipulate all of this. Pools will concession. I think, frankly, everyone will want to do it because, like all of us, everyone is invested in the kids and they want to make this happen for the kids. I think everyone will come through and join hands. But I think we can do it. I'm just thinking at the top of my head, but it seems possible right, to do that. Shannon or Linda?
So let me ask another question. Can we do this without the town staff having to come in tomorrow?
Yes. Yeah. In my opinion, we totally can do it without the town staff having to come.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would agree. I mean, we'll just have to get extra volunteers, right? So, I mean,
I was going to say, let's do it without having the staff.
yeah.
We make the
Yeah.
condition that we don't want the staff now. And I would say, Rohit, if we were doing this for the first time, like hell no, right? We would need all hands on deck. But because we did it 2 years ago, I think I have a high degree of confidence we can pull it off without the town staff coming in.
Okay. So let me just put some things out there based on what we've discussed, and then I'll if there's another round of discussion, we can have that. So my understanding is that American Pool has reservations, but it can pull it off.
Yes.
And we can also do this without having to ask our town manager, deputy town manager, and town clerk to have to work it. So that's, I think, I hope everyone will agree that this would be either a no concession or no concessions or Poolsville managed concessions. I don't think that we should agree to start before 10 o'clock. For the reasons that Debbie's outlined. I think we should give ourselves enough time to do the prep work, but also enough time to take a code red, code orange decision, and also to give the neighbors around there a little bit more time to wake up to the shock of the caravans people coming through there, right past their houses.
Speak for yourself.
Yes. So, yeah, perhaps it's not a coincidence that there's not a single council member who's within 100 feet of the pool. I do think that you need to have a discussion as a council on what we're going to do with the banquet. This is a major issue. We are practically, if we have the meet tomorrow and we have the banquet tomorrow, effectively, the pool is closed to the general public for most of the day. It is closed most of the day, practically the entire day. It was closed today. And I think that I heard from Erlinda, I believe, that there is a willingness to consider to relocate the banquet to another location, which I think would be welcomed by me, certainly, on behalf of other
American Pool. They would be fine with it.
And the last point I'll make is, I think to the point that some of you made regarding parking. Clearly, we will need all hands on deck from the swim team parents to be parking marshals. I think, frankly, every one of the 65 families is going to have to show up and work tomorrow. It can't just be those who are going to divisionals. Everyone is going to have to pitch in. And I have to say also that we are not going to have any parking restrictions for residents. So the teams that come are not going to, we can't tell them that, oh, we've left parking spaces for you like we did last time. This time they're going to have to find space wherever they do. And as you say, I think sending out the message for carpooling would be much appreciated. So let me just put those things on the table and do one more round. Does anybody on the council wish to come forward with any additional comments before I ask someone to make a motion?
Well, let me just one other.
Yeah, Robin, please go ahead.
Yeah, thinking of the kids, I mean, even Code Orange is going to be stressful on the kids swimming, especially heavy physical exertion. And Code Red obviously is absolutely impossible for them, and it's inappropriate for them to have any physical exertion under those circumstances. And are you all comfortable with the kids putting out such heavy physical exertion when there's still substantial smoke in the air?
Go ahead, Shannon.
Shannon,
if I can answer. So, I mean, I think that that's obviously the biggest concern, right? Like we could host, but should we? And um and I think that it really depends on the level of, you know, how unhealthy this air is when we wake up in the morning. Everything that I have seen has said that it is going to be pushed back. Like, so in the early morning, it might be worse than it is, you know, at 10, 11. So like everything I have read about like how the smoke is going is that it's going to get better progressively. But I think that that's obviously the main issue. I think all of the other issues can really be solved, and with our town. But you know, I think pushing it back to start at 10 o'clock is going to help alleviate those potential issues, and it may or may not happen. And we just have to make a call by a certain time and set that up.
I think you know, this is a very, what Robin has raised is a very important point, and you know, we as the town government have certain responsibilities, and of course, I mean, ultimately, the swim team parents are the ones who decide for their children. But my understanding is, you know, let us look at it in very objective terms. Tomorrow will be either code red or code orange. It's unlikely to be anything better than that. That's my understanding. But leaving aside the projections, because predicting this stuff is not easy. I want to be clear. If it's a code red, it will be canceled. If it's a code orange, Robin has pointed out that code orange means that sensitive groups may experience health effects, and sensitive groups means children. It's not children with asthma. It's not children with this. It's all children. There's no caveat in the guidance. My understanding is that. Robin, correct me if I'm wrong.
You're right. It's also the children are engaged in heavy physical exercise.
Yeah. So you know, and it says people who are active outdoors. So orange is still problematic. So I want to try to understand if those of you who are proposing to go ahead, you are saying that if it is code orange, because I don't want to get into, oh, if it's good or it's bad. There's only yellow, orange, or red in this scenario. If it's orange tomorrow, then what are you saying we should go ahead? Because this is we need to know the go no go criterion for tomorrow.
Let me say one
That's
thing.
Robin is
just
raised.
Yeah, I appreciate that point, Robin. And as you know, we lived in Delhi where it was 900. I mean, it was 3 to 4x what it is now. And we left India exactly for air pollution. And my son couldn't even run outside on certain days in school. They were not allowed to even run outside. So very, very sensitive to this. You should know, all of you should know that swim practices were canceled even before the pool was closed because it was code red today. So we are very, very cognizant of what this means for the children. And so we, you know, practices were canceled like yesterday because we looked at and said it's code red. We don't want these guys out. I think I'm following what, you know, is the collective wisdom of the group. I think we were leaning towards moving forward with this if it's a better improving air quality. And if the air quality is, you know, in code orange, we were thinking that could be something in which we could host a swim team. But I mean, I don't have a clear sense of whether that's sensible or not. I would follow the wisdom of the group on that. I think our general understanding, as Shannon said, is that the air quality is going to get a lot better as the day progresses tomorrow. And so,
But
you know, that was our thinking.
Just to clarify to everyone,
Yeah.
today was terrible. Tomorrow will be bad.
Yeah.
Bad is better than terrible, but bad is not necessarily
I agree.
Good, right?
not necessarily good
Yes.
for children. So
Yes.
you know, I really think that we need to have this discussion. We need to have this.
Fine. No. We are having it.
Because,
I'm thinking out loud with you.
The guidance is very clear. During a code orange alert, sensitive groups, which is children, should reduce prolonged or heavy outdoor exertion, which I believe a swim meet would qualify in that category. And so I just, I also, and related to this, I also think that, if for any reason the county, because of air quality reasons, were to close their pools, then we would definitely, not proceed either. I mean, I really believe Somerset should follow county guidance on whether pools should be open or not.
I would be comfortable with that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would be comfortable with that. I think we are generally in agreement with. I'm in agreement with you for what it's worth that we need to have exits on this. I think that was Debbie's point that we need, a ramp and
Right.
time to make a call. So I think it is just a live situation, and we need to be able to exit if we are not comfortable. I'm all for that on this. I think we are just trying to thread the needle.
Yeah.
So if the air quality does improve, are we ready to execute on it and make it happen? If it doesn't, obviously not.
But I think if I can suggest this, I would like to have a decision from the council today on what the go, no go criterion is. As Debbie told you, since now for the last 12 hours and 10 minutes, all I've dealt with is pool, swim team, air quality, air quality, air quality. I don't want to have to do this again tomorrow morning. I would prefer to have an understanding in the council of what the go, no go criterion is for tomorrow morning. Red is no go. I need to know what all of you as a groups, you take this decision now as a council. Is orange a go or no go? Sorry, let me just repeat. If it's red, it's a no go. If the county closes, it's a no go. But if it's in this no man's land of orange, but the county doesn't decide, what's your decision?
Right. And remember, the orange guidance is kids should reduce physical activities in orange conditions.
100% red, no go, right? I think we're all aligned with that. I think if the county shuts down for the whole day, citing air quality, I think that should be a huge factor in our decision not to go forward. I think I'm comfortable with code orange because I suspect even without these forest fires, we've probably had code orange days. So I don't want to impose on my fellow council members, but I might be comfortable with that for swim team activities. Of course, we will declare this with all the teams. Remember, it's a division meet. It doesn't happen if one team doesn't show up, kind of thing. So everyone has to agree on that. And that would be where I am at. But I appreciate your push, Rohit, to make that call today. Although just to caution you that you may still be dealing with this tomorrow, don't be disappointed, but this could still be your Saturday, okay? That it could still happen.
I fully expect to be dealing with tomorrow, but I would like the go no go criterion agreed today, so that we shouldn't have to reconvene tomorrow. I would like to be able to, tell American Pool it's on or off, because we agreed yesterday. This was it. So let me open it up. Shannon and Erlinda, any thoughts on the go no go decision for tomorrow morning? Orange is a yes, or orange is a no?
You want to go first, Shannon? I can speak. I'll go. I mean, I think, I would be, like, as we said, definitely red is a no-go. The county shuts all the pools down again, no-go. Orange is obviously not ideal. But, given what I've been hearing from the other pools and the other, folks that were trying to get this to happen also tomorrow, there is a consensus that orange would be satisfactory to have a meet for those that want to allow their children to do that. So obviously it would be ultimately up to the parents to decide if they wanted their own children to participate. And of course, they are the end stop there for that. But I think that, from the standpoint of our town government, I would be comfortable with going forward if, there was a code orange.
Thanks, Erlinda. Shannon?
Yes, I agree. I mean, I think that we have done practices before in Code Orange, and I think it's up to each individual at that point to decide whether or not it's safe for their family, and if that's a smart decision for them. But I think that I would be okay moving forward with it. I don't, obviously, if Montgomery County closes the pools all day long tomorrow, I don't think it's a smart idea for us to have our pool open for this.
I'll add one more point with your permission, Rohit, if
Yeah,
I
please
can,
go ahead.
for your benefit and Robin's. I would love to hear from Debbie, but I think it was last week. Everything is blurring in my mind, but there was one meet we had where it was 100 degrees temperature.
Right.
And so, we did everything we can to keep the kids healthy, and we invested in that. I just want you to know that there are extraordinary situations in which this area, summertime, it's extremely subpar and suboptimal for a variety of reasons, and we've always tried to make sure that the kids come out healthy, so that they can compete and they are, coming out as best as they can on the other end of it.
Thanks. Debbie, did you want to say anything?
I'm so torn because I want this meet to go on. I get what this is about. Having run the show before, I know how important this is. But in my gut, I feel like we are compromising the children. I really do. And so I'm really torn because, I do want it to go on. But I'm very uncomfortable saying you should do this. I hear you all, and I don't, my children are all grown up, they're fine, but I'm just not comfortable. That's all. And I think we can work out logistics, like let the pool stay open later, let the banquet start a little later, that kind of thing. I think we can work out those things. I think we can have no concessions and have everybody bring their own food to make life easier and all that. Yeah, I think we can piss off our neighbors, and we're going to, there's no doubt. But, that's the way it goes. But I don't like that idea, but I think we can. But I'm just uncomfortable. I feel like we're compromising children. I just can't compromise children. That's where I stand. And I'm sorry. I'm not anti this meat. Believe me, I'm not. So anyway, that's where I am.
Okay, we can. So let's just go.
Yeah,
Robin,
I think we should. Sorry.
Go ahead, Shannon.
No, I totally agree with Debbie, and I do agree that, I think logistically we can make it work for our pool. And so then the question is, should we make it work? Right. And I think that we need to set a time, like 8 a.m. or whatever time that they decide. And I think that we should look at that time and make a decision. And that's the decision, black or white, and if it's red, absolutely no. If it's orange, if the county's not shutting down and they're opening at 10, I think we should too. Again, these other pools don't have the luxury that we have as a small community. And so while, they're pushing the start date or the start time to open at 10, they can't inform all of their residents and all of their members and, whoever comes up, it's a public pool, in order to buy tickets. That's a totally different scenario than we have. And so I think that I'm very comfortable with the 10 o'clock start time. And I think that we need to make a decision early. And yeah, that's where I am.
But let me ask you a quick question, Shannon. So let's just say we do all this, we powwow at 8 and we say 10 o'clock opening. But what time are we asking Helen to have her staff there? I don't want them there at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't want anybody there at 8 o'clock in the morning. Should it be that we say that everybody can come in and set up at 9? Can it be done?
At this point, isn't our pool just still open tomorrow? We haven't made any call on it, as far as I know, right?
But our pool doesn't open till 10 o'clock. So,
but isn't there early swim?
No, it's been canceled.
Oh, it's already been canceled.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So I just learned that.
So, to clarify, it would be canceled if there's a meet, because I don't think it's realistic to have preparations for the divisionals and the early swim being done at the same time. And so that's my understanding from Helen, is that If we have the divisionals, then we would have to cancel early swim. But obviously, it's not being canceled until this decision is.
No,
as of
I
now.
thought Rohit were canceling it because of the air quality and we won't be able to figure it out in time. You got to
No.
remember we
Helen,
get down there.
Helen says that there is no recommendation to close at this point. So at this point, which is to go back to I think what Kabir said, I fully expect at 6:30 in the morning tomorrow to have to be dealing with it again. But at this point, there has been no recommendation for closing it. And now I have to go and check if it is correct that all the county pools are not opening tomorrow morning until 10. Then you're right. Then we have to cancel morning swim too, because we can't have the pool open at 7 o'clock for morning swim if all the county pools have closed for health reasons.
Just to answer Debbie's question, if I may, not to jump out of turn, but my understanding is that most of the setup will be done by all the volunteers of the swim team. So the staff doesn't need to be involved in the setup. I also know, because I have a family member who's a pool manager, that Helen tends to staff the pool with local kids because they can do the early stuff. They can go and open the pool early. And so I don't know. I think there are probably one or two local kids who have already been tapped to work tomorrow.
She has to confirm with them, Kabir. She's waiting to hear from
Yeah.
us. She's waiting to hear from us. So
just so as in like your concern for logistics. Sorry, Robin.
Let's try to bring it to closure a bit. I just want to go one more round.
Let me try a motion.
Linda or Kabir, any other points that you wanted to make? Sharon, were you done?
Yeah, I was just trying to look online and see if.
Okay.
Oh my, I can't find it.
County had made a decision about
I think
tomorrow.
one thing before we close out, one question I did have for the council is, we talked about either no concessions or Poolsville managers and concessions. I really wanted to ask whether we can have a somewhat quieter meet. I know we have to have announcements, but can we do a divisional without music?
Rohit,
Well,
I wanted to. Go ahead, Shannon. Go ahead, Shannon.
Shannon, go ahead.
The issue wasn't really it was the time. So like the time was too early. And so that's why the Somerset House residents complained. But if we were to really start the meet at 10 o'clock or later, I don't think that there would be the same complaints, right?
There will be. We haven't told them.
Yeah. Rohit,
please go ahead.
May I add to that? So I was very engaged on this issue when this happened one summer. I met with the Somerset House manager, and we created a process which continues to be implemented to this day, which is that we don't use the starter before 9 a.m. Our music is very subdued before 9 a.m. And this is, by the way, in partnership with the, I don't know the exact title now, basically the Environmental Protection Agency for the county, which also deals with noise pollution. And so we met with all of those folks. We did decibel tests, by the way, multiple decibel tests. It did not, once we made all of these changes, we were not seeing the kinds of readings that would make residents uncomfortable at Somerset House. So the swim
Can I make
team.
a suggestion?
I just want to be very clear.
I want to make a suggestion.
I just want to finish my thought.
Helen and the town hall have told me today that they continue to get complaints from North Park and other buildings during swim meets.
Yes, Rohit, but they are not.
I think that because this is an extraordinary out of turn meet, I think it is not unreasonable for us to self-regulate and say
100%.
The music is significantly turned down tomorrow.
Yes. All I'm saying is we do that anyway to a large extent, is what I'm saying, because what happened.
The reason I'd like to
thing.
let me just jump in, because it may help you or get in your way. I don't know. I think we shouldn't have the music for another reason. We haven't told our neighbors, I don't mean our Somerset neighbors, I mean the neighbors around us, We haven't told them we're having this meet. So if we turn off the music, at least we haven't gotten in their face with our music, maybe our cheering, but not our music. I just think it makes a lot of sense. I'm sorry, Kabir.
Debbie, what I was going to say is that because we implemented a way of working since that incident, every start of every season, I text the manager of Somerset House our entire schedule. Every season, every home meet.
But you didn't do that
I
for
will,
tomorrow.
I will, yeah, I will do that. I will send them
and you know what?
because just one quick thought. Then you can jump in. Is because we established those rules with the protection agency, the environmental agency for the county. We established it together, all three parties, that this is what happens. This is how noise functions at the pool. We establish and we follow that process. So it's not just Somerset House feeling like there's noise. It has to meet a noise standard that is established, and we do not violate that because we follow those guidelines. I just want you to know that people will hear noise throughout the day from the pool because it's so close to these neighbors, but that agency will not take those complaints as noise pollution seriously because they do not meet that standard. And for the swim teams, we do not meet that. We do not cross that standard. We implemented this process. We follow this process. We take it very seriously because we want to be nice to our neighbors because we are a town swim team.
But Kabir,
sorry, Debbie, one second. Yeah, just to clarify, it's not just Somerset House. There are at least two other buildings that the complaints are coming from. So if you have a process in place, I would ask that you have to probably reach out to at least two other.
I'm very happy to do that. I'm very happy to do that.
Secondly, I think that if this were a regular swim meet, I fully accept that if we are within the decibel range, that's great. I really would like to ask all of you, it is your decision as the council, I really would like to ask all of you to keep in mind, this is not a regular swim meet. So to say that the decibel level is within, DEP standards, noise is noise and music is music. And to say that it's within the decibel level is, I don't think, fair to the surrounding residents on Warwick, in Somerset House, in 4615 Park. And so even if it is within the decibel level, it is a disturbance. And it's a disturbance that is out of turn. It was not meant to be tomorrow to have this disturbance on this Saturday.
Also,
I agree with that.
I think that there's no problem with this.
I need to say this. Please let me say this.
We can manage that. I agree with you, Rohit. Totally agree with you.
Debbie, we are splitting hairs over this. We're in an emergency situation. I think, Kabir, you should just turn off the music and not fight about this. We're trying to make this happen.
I'm saying we can manage it.
We can keep it down. Like, I don't think
we can keep it down. 100% we can manage it. Yeah, it's not a big deal at all. 100%. I'm additionally saying we take it very seriously. That's what I'm trying to communicate.
I know you do. I know you do. And I don't doubt that you do. This
but
is just a special
I agree with
situation.
you. We are splitting hairs on this, and we probably should move to the next.
Let's move forward.
Yeah.
Let's move forward.
All right. So,
motion again.
Robin, you have a motion. Please go ahead.
All right. So we will host the divisionals tomorrow if the following conditions are met. 1, county pools are open at 10 o'clock and later. 2, the air quality code is orange or less.
Could you repeat that, Robin?
Yeah.
I tuned out.
We'll host the Division I championship tomorrow if these conditions are met. 1, county pools are open from 10 o'clock tomorrow. And 2, the air quality index is no worse than orange.
I'm fine with that. I just don't know about the 10 o'clock specific. Go ahead, Shannon.
I was just going to say I second, but.
Okay, yeah.
Is that the extent of your motion, Robin, just to clarify?
That's the extent of the motion, yes.
Okay. In other words, the issue of, I want to be clear before the second and everything. Concessions,
Well, we can put that in.
Banquet. There are many things here that we still need to resolve in this decision.
Can I make a friendly amendment to that? I think
Go
Shannon
ahead.
seconded, so we are in discussion
Yeah.
phase.
Yes. Please go ahead.
The amendment would be that it's stipulated that all Division I teams are requested to carpool, that no parking would be permitted in the streets immediately surrounding the pool, so that there's no clogging. Basically, that's why I'm suggesting that. That Poolsville or other teams would take on the burden of delivering on concessions, or we will stipulate that. What else did we discuss?
Regarding the banquet.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Shannon.
I was just going to say, maybe what we can do is tell the other teams to park at the Somerset school.
Okay, we stipulate that too. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, and regarding the banquet, that we would either find an alternative location or somehow keep the pool open, for the residents.
I don't think it's realistic to have the whole swim team there and have a banquet and have residents coming and going. I haven't know what the setup is going to look like, has been in the past at least. It's not realistic. I think that either we relocate it or we close the pool to everybody else once the banquet.
What about if we change the time and just make it later? Like the banquet, instead of, I don't know, what time does the banquet start? Is it
5:30?
So started at 6:30,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay,
Although
no problem.
There might be a storm. It rains every banquet. So
yeah, I think Debbie, I logistically having knowing what's going on with the banquet starting at 6:30 is absolutely fine.
Yeah, this gives residents an extra hour, and we appease. Listen, we're trying to make it right for everybody.
Okay.
So,
All right. I'm going to.
Sorry, make it two motions. First of all, pass the generic motion and then pass the detailed motion, which is many details as it turns out. So
I'm fine with one motion.
I'm going to repeat what I heard so that everybody is on the same page regarding what is up for a vote. There is a primary motion from Robin.
Put a spotlight on the president's mass deportation efforts.
Oops.
Sorry.
That
I'm in the car now. I'm already a half hour late for the dinner I'm going to tonight. Yeah.
There we go.
The town of Somerset will host the I divisionals tomorrow on the condition that county pools are open at 10 o'clock and the air quality is orange or better.
Right.
That's motion number one.
I think Shannon seconded that, so it's
seconded that. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye on that.
I believe that's 4-1. Now there's a secondary part, which is the conditions under which this would happen. And that is that the visiting teams would be strongly advised to carpool, that they would be guided towards the Somerset Elementary School parking, and they should not park in the immediate vicinity of the pool area in order to allow flow of traffic. That Poolsville and or other teams would take responsibility for concessions.
No, how about no concessions? Everybody bring their own food, which means
why don't I finish? Then you can debate these things. So that's the third point, is that Poolsville or other teams would be responsible for concessions. That the banquet start time would be pushed to 6:30 p.m. and that music levels would be lowered out of respect for the neighbors around the pool. Any discussion on this? Debbie, I believe you wanted to discuss one of those items.
Wait a minute. Sorry, I've got to get can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Robert's rules are broken already today, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I just think that there shouldn't be any concessions because they make a big mess, and every team should have to bring their own food. I'm very concerned that there be enough water for all these children and,
Right.
and
There's
adults.
a motion. There's a motion to amend what I read earlier. That would say no. One of those conditions would be no concessions. So
hold on one second. Clarification. Rohit, what you listed was a motion.
Well, it
Yeah.
has to be a motion
Yeah.
by a council member. Some council member has to.
I was summarizing. I was
So-
summarizing what all of you had said.
So let me say so moved as the motion. If someone wants to second, then we can discuss it. Does
I'll
that work?
second it.
Let
I'll
me
second it.
to what I
Okay.
said.
Okay.
Second. Debbie
Okay. So
seconded.
go ahead, Debbie.
Debbie, you have an amendment to that. Is that correct?
I thought we did that. I thought my amendment was no concessions.
No amendment is no.
Here's the deal on the concessions. I have a feeling, I don't know, I have to check. We can't hear from the swim team, but Poolsville probably has already bought food. Remember, they were going to host the meet tomorrow. They have water for all the volunteers. They've done it all. So why would we waste all that? We should just ask them to bring it. And it's effectively the same thing, Debbie, as you're saying. They are just bringing it for all the other teams. You
All
see,
right.
it's effectively going to be the
Okay.
same thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll back off on that. All right.
You're
All right.
withdrawing your amendment, Debbie.
I withdraw my amendment, but they better clean up. Okay.
I will be cleaning up. I assure you, I will be there cleaning up.
And okay, so that was the amendment moved by Kabir. It was seconded by Debbie. All those in favor? Say
Aye.
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 Passed. Very good. So we have agreed that we will host the divisionals tomorrow. Swim team parents will be fully mobilized. The town staff will have their day off as they fully deserve. And it will be a complete community event mobilized by all of us together, and all the volunteers will do it. And so good luck to the Dolphins. Please tell the other teams that one
Also-
of the conditions was, if I can finish, one of the conditions was that each team has to give a 10-point handicap to Somerset tomorrow. As a starting.
Yes.
That
Yes.
means
Excellent.
start.
Excellent
50
idea. Excellent
50
idea.
points, you're already ahead. May the best team win after that.
We won.
We won.
Hey, what-
This is going to make the
one
best
last
swim
thing.
story.
Rohit,
Very good.
Rohit,
Okay,
consider.
do I have a motion to
considering-
adjourn? It being
No.
7:05.
No,
Don't
No, no,
move.
Debbie,
Wait for Debbie.
Debbie has one more thing.
Yes, please.
considering this is 7 o'clock at night, we need an email out to the town.
Yes. Yeah, so
And-
I'll follow up with EJ on
Okay,
this.
all right. I just can't do it because I'm in my car, obviously.
No,
you know.
I'll follow up with EJ on the administrative part, and we will send out an announcement. Yes.
Well,
Just stay
thank
off
you
the listserv. Just stay off the listserv after that.
thank you to all of you for making time for a late evening meeting, and thank you to the town staff for being around for late. I think the kids and the families will be very grateful. So thank you.
Good luck tomorrow. Have
A
fun.
motion to adjourn.
Motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
Seconded.
Seconded. Thank you all very much. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.